You're good to go.
Good to go. All right. Well, my name's Luke Hollister. I'm a tech here at the RDO store in Burnsville, and I'll briefly go over service advisory today with everybody. So I think I got that there. All right. Can you see the screen there? The John Deere service advisory screen?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So, yeah, here is the service advisory screen. It's probably one of the most useful tools a John Deere tech can have. So right here is your search bar. So you're going to put your machine model or serial number or just like a general complaint in there. So we'll just choose a mini excavator to go through today. So if you type in 35P, it'll bring this screen up here, and you've got your everything bar, models, jobs, if you're working on a job, manuals, or your DTAC solutions. We'll get to all this later. But first, you're going to go into models, and then 35P. You got two selections here. You've got start new job and start new context. So a job is if you want to record all of your diagnostics throughout your while you're diagnosing the machine, it'll save all of that for you there. But if you just want to look up specs and whatnot, I would click on the new context button. That's what I use 95% of the time here. So if you click on that, it brings you up to the page here. You got a couple different options. You got your manuals, activity, kind of tells you what tasks you've been doing in Service Advisor. Remote, that's if you want to reprogram a controller like the ECU or the TCU remotely. And there's a reprogramming tab. These two kind of go hand in hand. And then a diagnostics tab. And these 5 tiles here are really what I use 99% of the time. So if we click into manuals, you got a couple different options on the side here. You've got your CTM, which is component technical manual. So for bigger loaders and dozers, it'll list, what kind of specific axle and transmission and engine that specific piece of equipment will have, and it'll have a individual manual for each of those pieces. And then you've got your operation and test. So if you were to diagnose a complaint or an issue, or look for a specification, that's where you would go for that. And then your operator's manual. And then a repair manual tells you how to take things apart and put them back together, basically. And then your supporting manuals for, like on this 35, it's got a manual for the Yanmar engine in it, troubleshooting manual for the engine, an undercarriage manual, and a test and specs manual. And then a technical manual. These are just the 4G and 3G manual for the antennas on the machine. So the one you'll use the most is the operation and test manual. So if you click into that, on the side here, you've got general information, diagnostics, an operational checkout procedure, engine, electrical system, powertrain, hydraulic system, and heat and air conditioning tab. So starting with the diagnostics tab here, that'll list off all of your trouble codes. So if you've got a trouble code on the machine, you can go to this tab and it'll tell you, your trouble codes, what they are, how to, basic steps to diagnose them. And same with this tab too. This tab is specific for the monitor on a 35P. And operational checkout procedure, that just goes through basic checks of the machine, how to, check the monitor startup, engine speed dial check, travel alarm circuit, hydraulic oil pressurization check, and so on and so forth. But really, the ones I use the most in the operation and test manual are going to be your engine, electrical, powertrain, hydraulic system. These will have all of your theory of operation on how, like the fuel system will work, or the cooling system, component locations and whatnot, which come real handy when you're trying to diagnose something. Then underneath electrical system, you'll have all of your schematics here. They're all labeled on the left here. Schematics and component location. And the entire machine here. Powertrain, same thing. Diagnostic information if you want to diagnose something wrong with, the track on a 35P. And you got your theory of operation for that too. Hydraulic system. This has got all of your hydraulic schematics too for the machine. And how, all the hydraulic systems and motors and pumps work on the machine. And then it's got diagnostic information too for the hydraulics, which comes in real handy, just like the electrical tab. Yeah, so out of the operation test manual, the electrical system and the hydraulic system are the two I use the most and will come in handy. So then if we go back to manuals here, we'll click into the operator's manual. And this has just basic information on how to operate the machine. Got any questions about that? It also lists out the maintenance too, and what periods you need to maintain the machine and what you need to do as far as, changing the hydraulic oil, changing the engine oil, fuel filters. And it also has specifications too, drain and refill capacities, engine specs. Basically everything you want to know about the machine as far as numbers is found in the operator's manual. And then the repair manual. So the repair manual will tell you how to take things apart, what to look for, and how to put them back together. So pretty self-explanatory there. It's got, breakdowns for your tracks, axle and suspension systems, your engine. And this is just on a mini excavator. If you get into a bigger system like a loader or a dozer, you'll have a lot more tabs here to click on. And then, yeah, your supporting and technical manuals, we won't click into those. Yeah, the big ones you'll use are the operation and test, operators, and repair manual. Those come in real handy. And then within those manuals too, I guess I should mention, you can also go up here to the search bar, type in, let's type in hydraulic pump. If you click search in manual, it'll bring up everything inside of that manual as far as hydraulic pump. Obviously, you can search anything you want. Yeah, so that comes in handy too, being able to search within a manual. And then, yeah, your activity button here, that kind of tells you what kind of manual you've been in, what recordings you've done, diagnostics you've done. reprogramming tab. If you want to reprogram a controller, you click there and it'll be click onto that. Unfortunately, we're not connected to a machine show, so it won't show too much, but then you click onto that and it would bring up a list of the different softwares you can reprogram on your machine. And same with diagnostics too. Unfortunately, we're not connected to a machine, but you would use an EDL to connect between your computer and the machine. Click on the diagnostics tab, and I'll go to a different machine here. Maybe it'll show us a little bit more. No, unfortunately it won't. Yeah, but when you connect to a machine, you'll click on the diagnostics tab and it'll list all of the different tests you can do in calibrations. So here underneath the ECU, you want to do like your def pump diagnostic test. You'd go into that and that would perform an interactive test on the machine. I know your cylinder cutouts in here, your harness diagnostic mode test. That's a handy one too. That will check all of the electronic components on a machine to see if there's any electrical issues. Calibrations, if you want to do a injector calibration, if you replace an injector, you would go into here, click on the calibration, it would walk you through that. Yeah, you got anything else to add, John?
No. I'm assuming most of their time will be spent looking for specs.
Yeah.
So maybe hone in on an example of that.
Okay. So I guess we'll do, if you wanted to find we'll do the hydraulic specification, for example. So you can even go to the search bar here and type in main relief line, click manuals there. Narrow it down to the operation and test manual. And it'll bring you into hydraulic system relief valve test. So if you click on that, yep, it'll list out what your specification is and how to perform the test to find your main relief pressure and whether it's an in spec or out of spec. And you can do the same with electrical components too. So if we wanted to find the resistance of a glow plug, you can search glow plug. That's not going to be the best one. Well, it's in here somewhere, the electrical component specification. Theory of operation. I can't find it with this specific machine, but I know I worked on the 35. If you go and look up glow plug specification or relay specification, will bring you to a list of the different electrical specifications and what they should be for each item on machine. I think that about covers everything basic, I'd say.
Yeah,
Are there any questions on anything in particular with Service Advisor from anybody?
Hi, I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Great, thanks for sharing the information. What would be your equivalent of a technical service bulletin and whereabouts would that be?
So like a DTEC solution, I would say.
yeah.
So our equivalent of a technical service bulletin would be what we call a DTAC solution. So here, give me just a second to find it here. Yeah, so if you click this tab here, CCMS, that will bring you into our DTAC or TSB website. And from there, you can look up all your TSBs and whatnot for the model subcategory. You know, you can narrow it down to part number even.
I see.
Yep. Yeah, any others? I think we're good.
Will some of the questions be based off of multiple VIN or serial numbers or primarily off of one serial number?
Off of one serial number, yep.
Sure.
So you won't have to worry about going back to machine. Yep, just one serial number.
Sounds good.
Everything will be between really the diagnostics button and the manuals button.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds
and feel free to use the search bar like a Google search bar, you know. It works just about the same to find anything within the manuals. Anything else?
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
There is one question in the chat.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to find that.
Is this going to be on a Deere engine or a different OEM such as Yanmar?
It'll be on a Deere engine. It won't be on any Yanmar or anything else. The test will be focused around a Deere.